Hi, I'm Sister Carol Anne Corley. I'm from Hot Springs, Arkansas. I teach fly tying and fly fishing in that area and do a lot of youth work, teaching kids how to tie flies. This afternoon I'm going to tie a leech for you, and the leech I'm going to tie is just a little bit different than what you find in most book patterns, and mostly because I'm using alternate materials. The first thing I'm going to use is what's called a corrugated bead. So it's multifaceted. It has all kinds of facets all around it that can reflect the sun so that it's much more fish attractive. The other thing I'm going to use this afternoon is a material called Symphony. Red Heart produces a yarn called Symphony. This color is an olive color and it's called juniper. And this is what we're going to use for this fly. The reason I choose to use this material as opposed to regular leech yarn that you can buy in fly tying shops is that it's much lighter and much finer, and it makes a much fluffier, more alive kind of fly that doesn't have so much body bulk to it, but swims just so lively in the water and just really billows as you move it. And it makes a beautiful, beautiful fly. So to start out with this fly, what we're going to do is just pull some of this fuzz to the left side of a piece of this yarn. And what I'm going to do is take about 3 inches of the yarn and pull the fuzz off to the left of that 3 inches. Then what I'm going to do is just fold this in 1/2-inch folds. And what this will do is give me all the material I need for a tail. So what we have here is about 2.5 to 3 inches of the yarn with the fuzz just pulled off to the side, and that's what we're going to cut off to use for our tail. The other thing we're going to use is a little bit of antron yarn. We're going to use that very, very sparsely. And we cut off about 1 inch, 1.5 of this. Now the first thing we want to do is we want to tie on this whole piece just at the place where we cut it off. Now you can use whatever color thread you want. So you start your thread right behind the bead. Now the trick with this bead is, because it's a jewel shop bead and not a fly tying bead, it isn't wider on one end than on the other. So you have to be sure to use a circle hook. This is a #1 Aberdeen hook, so it's a circle bend hook. Then what we do is we tie on just right above the barb, just a couple of quick wraps. Now what I do is, this material just doesn't have real even ends, and I don't want too much of a tail here, so what I do is just pull out and get this a little more tapered. As you pull out some of this, just stack it up, because we're going to use some of this again. So we just want to stack this. So we have a nice tapered tail, so that we're sure that we just don't have a clunky end of the tail of this fly. So we have a nice tapered tail. Now what we want to do is take just a very, very little bit of this. The secret of this fly is subtlety. So we want our flash to be a very, very subtle flash, just like we want the amount of moving material to be a very small amount of material. So we just take a little bit of this flash, just wrap it around the thread, kind of spread it out, tie it down the back side. Do the same thing on the front side, just very few fibers of your antron here. You want it so you can almost not see it, but then don't doubt that the fish will see it. fish are very, very sensitive to flash. They're, you know, that's how they live as predators, is responding to flashes in the water. So know that very subtle amount of flash can be very, very effective. So you tie just a little bit of flash to the near side, and just realize that this will just give you a very, very fine, light, flashy tail here. Just again, you want to pull this out a little. So if you have any excess of your antron or anything else, you're just tapering it out. Now with this yarn, what we want to do is we want to tie on our yarn. Just move our thread forward. Now I just move the thread all the way forward, but we're going to move it back after we wrap halfway up. Because what I want to do is, as we wrap the body of this, we have to pull the fibers out to one side just very gently, because we really want to get all this stuff going the same direction. Remember, as you wrap your material, as you wrap any material, it'll twist on the hook. So that as you wrap, you need to untwist. And you want to pull your fibers around the hook point as you wrap. You want to keep your fibers going back. Again, pull them around the hook point so that you don't get fouled up and junked up around the hook point. Just pull out to the side. Again, you want to be sure that it doesn't twist on itself. So you just want to kind of work it forward. If it starts to twist, you just twist it around the other way and start pulling your fiber out the other side. What I'm going to do is just pull this back here. Again, unwrap my thread. Then we're going to add a little more flash. And again, very, very small amount of this antron. Very small amount. Tie it to the back side. Tie it back. Repeat the same on the front side. So this one we tie in here. Just tie it back a little. Then just wrap forward to right behind the eye. Again, we just start pulling out our fibers here. Then we just tie it off right behind the bead. Then what I want to do again is to put the little bit of antron flash. You just wrap it around your thread, pull it up to the back side, one wrap to tie it down, just wrap it around, tie it down on the near side, and then just whip finish.
Little sample back from Watson.
Now this is just a really, really fuzzy fly, but simply for that reason, it really moves very, very nicely in the water and gives you a lot of motion. And with the corrugated bead for the head, it just adds so much extra flash. And then the very sparse antron down the sides and in the tail just gives it a lot of additional flash. Makes a very, very attractive little leech, and it's very, very effective, particularly on smallmouth and little bass. Very, very effective. Swims very well in the water. The corrugated bead gives it enough weight to sink it very well, and it's just a very good little fly.